The Laws and the Land. The Settler Colonial Invasion of Kahnawà in 19th Century Canada. Audiobook copyright 2023 by Daniel Rück. Print and e-book versions published 2021 by UBC Press for the Osgood Society for Canadian Legal History. Read for you by Kaniehti. Recorded and produced at Serotonin Studio, Montreal by Simon Petracchi. This audiobook has been made possible thanks in part to grants provided by the University of Ottawa Faculty of Arts and the University of Ottawa Institute of Indigenous Research and Studies. Publisher's note: this audiobook refers to figures and tables included in the print and e-book editions of this book. References, footnotes, maps, images, appendixes, and bibliography can be found in the printed copy of The Laws and the Land. If you have any questions about any information contained in this book, we encourage you to consult the printed copy to learn more. To Alec Brian Deere and Roy Wright. Forward. The Osgood Society for Canadian Legal History. The Laws and the Land is a history of the relationship between Kahnawà and Canada. It is a story of land and law set in the territory of the sovereign Kanien'kehá nation near Montreal, focused on its interaction with the expanding settler state of Canada over the course of the 19th century. That relationship was marked by the asymmetrical encounter between Kahnawà law and Canadian Indian laws in the context of Confederation, the Indian Act, Indigenous history, and the global history of settler colonialism. Using extensive archival research, Daniel Rück reveals an increasingly powerful and belligerent Canada interfering in the governance of Kahnawà, one of the most populous and influential Indigenous communities in 19th century Canada. Yet the colonial state described in this book was not simply a well-organized, irresistible machine. It was also a polity defined by contradiction, inconsistency, and weakness, which themselves become sources of oppression for colonized people. This is the story of the meeting of two legal traditions in a settler colonial context and of the lawlessness and violence that can emerge from the colonization process. The purpose of the Osgood Society for Canadian Legal History is to encourage research and writing in the history of Canadian law. The Society, which was incorporated in 1979 and is registered as a charity, was founded at the initiative of the Honourable R. Roy McMurdy and officials of the Law Society of Ontario. The Society seeks to stimulate the study of legal history in Canada by supporting researchers, collecting oral histories, and publishing volumes that contribute to legal historical scholarship in Canada. This year's books bring the total published since 1981 to 114 in all fields of legal history: the courts, the judiciary, and the legal profession, as well as the history of crime and punishment, women and law, law and the economy, the legal treatment of Indigenous peoples and ethnic minorities, and famous cases and significant trials in all areas of the law. Current directors of the Osgood Society for Canadian Legal History are Constance Backhouse, Heidi Bohaker, Bevan Brookbank, Shantona Chaudhuri, David Chernos, Paul Davis, Doug Downey, Linda Silver-Dranoff, Timothy Hill, Ian Hull, Tricia Jackson, Mahmoud Jamal, Waleed Malik, Rachel McMillan, Roy McMurtry, Dana Peebles, Paul Reinhardt, Paul Shabbos, Robert Sharp, John Silver, Alex Smith, Lauren Sawson, Mary Stokes, Michael Tulloch, and John Wilkinson. Acknowledgements. It gives me great pleasure to acknowledge and thank the many people and organizations who contributed to this project. I want to thank grad school friends, departmental colleagues, administrators, friends, family members, collaborators, examiners, editors, committee members. So many of you supported me in small and big ways. My heart is full when I think of your kindnesses. I am naming only a select few to whom I am particularly grateful as I wrap up this manuscript. My first thank you goes to Elspeth Heeman at McGill University, who trusted me and advocated for me in the early years of this project. Colin Coates at York University supported me many
Sample complete. Ready to continue?